I hope this is the first of many gatherings and nearing the last time we were forced to meet virtually. We're extremely excited to have you with us today and at the potential of this consortium to bring innovative solutions to challenging national issues. My name is Chris Van Metre, and I am the CEO of Advanced Technology International, or ATI, RISE's Consortium Manager. In a minute, I'll introduce Michael Wu, the founder of Converge Strategies, ATI's partner in the RISE Consortium, and today's MC. But first, I'd like to tell you a little bit about ATI. ATI's business is to build and lead technology collaborations, often referred to as consortia. ATI brings together technology-focused cohorts that include a diverse mix of commercial and academic partners to identify technology challenges and potential solutions. ATI facilitates and manages the processes by which requirements are identified, presented to industry and academia to develop proposed solutions, and the ensuing project work from request for proposal to solution delivery and closeout. Many of ATI's programs are managed through a contractual arrangement known as an other transactions agreement, which reduces some of the traditional government contracting challenges to ease the burdens of participation, specifically targeting attracting small and non-traditional contractors. The consortia we manage range in technology areas that include advanced materials, weapon systems, both manned and unmanned, telecommunications technologies, shipbuilding technologies, and many others. Each of these collaborations is led by an executive director, the point person who has both the technical expertise and, more importantly, a deep passion for the collaborative approach to problem solving. I'm honored to introduce the RISE Consortium's executive director and today's host, moderator, facilitator, and all-around great guy, Mr. Michael Wu. Michael has spent nearly a decade working on energy and national security issues, including as a senior advisor in the U.S. Air Force for energy resilience. In 2017, he co-founded Converge Strategies, a consulting firm focused on the intersection of clean energy, resilience, and national security. He's an Army Judge Advocate General officer and a graduate of St. John's College in Santa Fe and Washington University in St. Louis School of Law. I'm pleased to introduce his RISE Consortium's Executive Director, Michael Wu.
Wow, thanks so much, Chris. I'm really honored and excited to be named the RISE Consortium's first Executive Director. I want to thank you and I want to thank ATI for your vision and leadership in investing in really urgent energy and climate action that we so desperately need. I also want to thank New America and the Atlantic Council's Global Energy Center, as well as John Powers and the Experts Only podcast for helping us build the event today, which I'm really excited to talk to you about. So what should you expect today? Well, number one, you're going to see a lot of high-paced, really in-depth conversation, and you'll sense a theme. We're going to be pairing some leading government experts as well as leading private sector innovators to talk together about the most urgent issues they face and how they might work together and collaborate to more effectively deliver energy and climate solutions for the Department of Defense in particular, but for our entire nation and the federal government at large. I do want to knock out some logistical issues up front. So you'll see within this Zoom webinar, there is a question and answer function, a question and answer box. Now, due to our incredibly packed schedule with amazing speakers that you can see here, we're not going to be able to engage in a traditional question and answer session as a part of these panels. But what we will do is I'll commit to ensuring that your questions that are put in the Q&A box get answered in written form following the event. Now, secondly, there's also a chat box. What we request is that you, if you have a substantive question, that you put it in the Q&A box and reserve the chat box if you're experiencing technical difficulties with this event. And we do have a team standing by to answer any questions. Secondly, this is being recorded and you will receive a video recap as a part of the materials that you'll receive following this event. What other materials can you expect? Well, you'll get these slides that I'm about to present. You'll also get a survey, which we really ask you to fill out. We're really creating this consortium to answer your questions, both the government and private sector stakeholders, and address your needs that are on this webinar today. And so what we want to build that programming to be most meaningful. And so before we get to what I'm really excited to do, this opening keynote interview between Sharon Burke and Melanie Nakagawa, I just want to tell you a little bit about the RISE Consortium and what you can expect from us and why we started it. So why do we need this consortium, and why is energy and climate such urgent issues and crises for DoD and our nation? Well, for DoD, it starts with the footprint. More than 500 installations worldwide, more than 300,000 buildings that need to be heated and powered, more than 116,000 non-tactical vehicles that need to be fueled. And that's to say nothing of our worldwide forces that are deployed, keeping our nation safe, ships, aircraft, and vehicles that all require access to power, access to fuel to complete their missions. If you add up all of the land that the DoD controls, it's roughly equivalent to the state of Pennsylvania. So it's an incredible footprint. And DoD, as many of you know, is the largest consumer of energy in the world, with an annual energy budget of between $12 and $16 billion. And our core national defense missions and our core capabilities are at risk due to the situation with our critical infrastructure and energy and climate. Many of you, I don't need to tell you, it's in the news every day, that our critical infrastructure is at risk, including our electric grid, our natural gas distribution system, and others. They're at risk from a changing climate and from more frequent and extreme weather, like the storms that that impacted and nearly destroyed Tyndall Air Force Base and Camp Lejeune with Hurricane Michael in 2018. They're also at risk from determined adversaries. We saw very recently the entire Eastern Seaboard experience a fuel crisis due to the Colonial Pipeline attack. So you're going to hear from experts who are more experienced and much more engaged on these issues throughout this event. But suffice to say, the homeland is no longer a sanctuary, and our forces and our forces' ability to complete their missions are at risk. And that's been the focus of our leaders, including Secretary Austin and the President of the United States. Focus has been on how to change our energy and climate postures because they are such risks to national security and our capabilities. And so, you know, we have seen unprecedented commitments and goals to energy and climate action. Now, why are we standing up this consortium? Really because we believe that the traditional ways of doing business simply aren't effective enough, quick enough, or enabling enough collaboration between government and the private sector to accomplish those really ambitious goals and ambitions. So here's why we believe the RISE Consortium will be a transformational platform to help us address some of these challenges. And that's really what this is all about. The mission of the RISE Consortium is to address the energy security and climate crises by reimagining how we use, generate, transport, and store energy, and how we build modern, efficient, resilient infrastructure. We're going to focus on these three key areas, most, you know, in part for the Department of Defense and primarily for the Department of Defense. But what we believe is some of the collaborations and some of the projects that we're going to enable are going to benefit the nation. Some of the technologies we'll develop will help develop, will benefit the nation as a whole. So first, we're going to help transform the way we power our bases. And that enables, that includes everything from advanced energy storage and microgrids to EV charging infrastructure to help us change the way we power installations. We're going to help change the way we power our forces. We need longer duration, more flexibly fueled, quieter forces, the ability to run silently. And there are technologies that exist today that can help us bring about that kind of future for our operational forces. And we need to enable the collaboration needed in order to bring about those kinds of futures. And finally, we need to prepare for a changing climate. We'll be investing in things like modeling advanced climate threats and impacts to facilities and operations, as well as embracing natural infrastructure solutions. Oh, and that's what we've done. We're creating this consortium of technology innovators and industry leaders to a broad array of technology companies, of national laboratories, of research organizations, and of manufacturers and suppliers, among many others. Even though this is our public kickoff, we already have more than 50 members today, and we're going to be asking you, if you're a member, if you identify with one of these sectors, to join us as a part of this collaboration. So why would you join us, and what does membership really bring you in the RISE Consortium? Well, number one, as Chris mentioned in his opening, we'll be focused on taking advantage of other transactions authority, which is an authority that's been around since the space race and really used where there's a core national interest or core national security interest and a real need for government to access the private sector more quickly and more effectively. It's been around since the space race and is still involved in advanced spacecraft development, prototyping, and acquisition. And more recently, it's been involved in about $7 billion in the last year for COVID vaccine development and distribution as a part of Operation Warp Speed. Why is other transactions authority going to be key, and why is this going to be an important part of our strategy? Well, number one, it's just going to be faster. Traditional government contracting processes can take many months or even years, and that's simply not fast enough to meet the ambitions of our energy and climate and the needs of our energy and climate issues that we have today. Number two, it's other transactions authority is really focused on accessing innovative, non-traditional industry. And that's what's really exciting about the RISE Consortium. There's an entire energy and climate innovation ecosystem that already exists and is already extremely robust with great access to capital and our latest technologies and other key factors of success. But today, many of those most innovative companies don't work with the federal government because it's too slow, because it's too cumbersome. But they would. I think many of them want to work with the Department of Defense. They want to contribute to our nation's security. They want access to capital to help develop and deploy their technologies. So what's required is streamlining that collaboration between the private sector and government. And so that's what we'll be focused on. And importantly, not just access to those stakeholders will industry members and RISE members get, but they'll get access to each other. We believe that there are many complementary capabilities that are controlled by RISE members. And what we will be actively doing is promoting teaming where there are complementary capabilities to have those consortium members partner together to provide more value to the government and help develop entirely new capabilities. So how can you join? Well, the good news is it's really easy and it's free. You can join today at www.rise-consortium.org. There's a how to join tab. It's a really simple one-page membership agreement, and it's free. So there's really no reason for you not to join today. And it's important that you join today because this is actually likely to be the last public event we hold as a part of the RISE Consortium. We have a ton of programming coming up, but it's going to be accessible only to RISE members. We'll have monthly webinars on some of the most important topics in energy and climate action today, from advanced energy storage technologies, EV charging infrastructure, electrifying the tactical edge. And it will all build up to this in-person event, which we're all very excited for, at the Defense Tech Connect Innovation Summit in October in Washington, DC. While we'll have a lot of announcements for the event, that Tech Connect event, which is in partnership with Resilience Week soon, what I can announce today is that we'll have a pitch event with cash prizes. We'll have a member reception and member meeting, in addition to specific discounts for RISE Consortium members. And let me just add, finally, that all of this programming will be available to the government stakeholders on this call, on this webinar. You can join all these you need to sign up to keep track, and so that we can inform you of some of the upcoming events. But we'd really welcome you to all of these events. And with that, again, we'd ask you to join the RISE Consortium today if you are eligible and interested in doing so.